we are now seeing that there is an elevated risk of terrorist attacks before Christmas. That is just 3 weeks away. That is scary, but because of articles like this and articles like this, we need to discuss what is going on, how this is going to impact you, and what you should look for in the future. So, all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy daily updates just like this, and let's begin. First off, the European Union warns of huge risk of terrorist attack before Christmas. Now, down here it says there is a huge risk of terror attack in the EU ahead of Christmas. This is from the European Home Affairs Commissioner Ylva Johansson. She warned yesterday on Tuesday, linking the threat to the ongoing war in the Middle East. And she said, with the war between Israel and Hamas and the polarization it causes in our society, with the upcoming holiday season, there's a huge risk of terrorist attack in the European Union. Now, that is one issue, okay? That's one thing. That's happening over in Europe. Here in the United States, yesterday, just to give you an example, I saw on Instagram, I saw on Facebook, I saw on TikTok, and I saw multiple videos on YouTube. All were saying, what is code brown? I don't know if you've seen this, but what is code brown in the United States? Well, in the medical profession, it means something completely different. Code brown in the United States, so if you're out at a retail store or a shopping center, which many people will be this holiday season, code brown means there's an active shooter. So it is scary that now we're starting to see those warnings. But it doesn't stop there. Even the FBI director, Christopher Wray, he says the terror threats elevated to all-time high since October 7th. Blinking lights everywhere. That is scary. Blinking lights everywhere. Okay? That's how we know this is an emergency. That's why I'm giving you this warning. Because what we continue to hear is that things are going to get worse before they get better. Now, I want to read you this as well. Okay? Let's look at this. It says, what I would say that is unique about the environment that we're in right now in my career is that while there may have been times over the years where individual threats could have been higher here, talking about the US, or there, than where they may be right now, I've never seen a time where all the threats or so many of the threats are all elevated all at the exactly the same time. Okay? Let that sink in. And then, let's read this. So, blinking red lights, analogy about 9/11. All the lights were blinking red before 9/11, apparently. Obviously, all of us missed it. Would you say there's multiple blinking red lights out there? That's from Senator Lindsey Graham, what he asked the FBI director, Christopher Wray. And Christopher Wray responded with, I see blinking red lights everywhere. Okay? Says the threat level has gone to a whole nother level since October 7th. Okay. Why? Why is all this happening after October 7th? Well, on October 7th, and this is the scary part, is what happened on October 7th did not happen to the United States. However, the U.S. is seeing these flashing red lights everywhere. And I've said this before. We are going to feel the effects of a war between Israel and Hamas. But it might not happen immediately. Okay? Here's the one good news. And I'll get back to what you need to be careful of. The one good news is, according to the U.S. officials, they think the Gaza ground operation could end by January, as President Biden and the Biden administration privately warned Israel about his tactics. Now, we knew this war was going to last between 1 to 2 more months. We heard that from the Israeli foreign minister. We've heard that from multiple world leaders, that this was going to last most likely until January. Okay? That's the good news. It might be over in 2 months. The bad news is these attacks are likely still going to continue. I want to read you a couple things, okay? Here's the first one. And this is when Ylva Johansson, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. This is when she said that there's huge risk of terrorist attacks in the EU. Okay? Says Johansson's comments follow an attack near the Eiffel Tower in Paris last weekend, during which a German man was killed and others injured by a man who had pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group, according to a French prosecutor. We saw it recently in Paris. Unfortunately, we have seen it earlier as well. In October, a French teacher was stabbed with a knife in a knife attack at a school in Arras, which the French authorities treated as a terrorist incident. In late November, Germany's domestic spy agency also said the war between Israel and Hamas has fueled an increased risk of attacks by radicalized Islamists inside Germany. Okay? That is over in Europe. Guess what's happening here in the United States? We're seeing similar things. We're seeing hate groups. Okay? People are attacking others because of their look, their religion, okay, where they're from. We continue to see this, and it's turning into a massive problem. This is one of the reasons why the FBI director has stated there's multiple flashing red lights. That's just here in the U.S. And then if we look abroad, we are seeing other countries attack us abroad as well, but also cyber attacks here on U.S. soil. It's a problem. It's a major problem. Just the other day, a U.S. Navy warship had to gun down more threats as American forces get pulled deeper into fights being fueled by Israel's war with Hamas. And you know what happened from that? Well, Riyadh is trying to contain this fallout. It says on edge over Red Sea attacks, Riyadh seeks to contain fallout. And what they're trying to do, we'll dive into this just a little bit, okay, down here, says Saudi Arabia has asked the United States to show restraint in responding to attacks by Yemen's Houthis against ships in the Red Sea. Says the Iran-aligned Houthis have waded into the conflict that has spread around the Middle East since war erupted on October 7th, attacking vessels in vital shipping lanes and firing drones and missiles at Israel itself. The group, which rules much of Yemen, says its attacks are to show support for the Palestinians and has vowed they will continue until Israel stops its offensive on the Gaza Strip, more than 1,000 miles from their seat of power in Sana'a. Now, here's where things are at. In Gaza, we are now seeing Israeli troops in record numbers, tanks entering into new cities. It is turning into a massive crisis, even bigger than it was 2 weeks ago. We are now seeing more tanks enter into different cities, enter into different parts. This is turning into a bigger concern because some are saying that they have limited time. Because right now there's still talks about a potential ceasefire. However, Israel knows that a ceasefire slows them down. It only allows Hamas to regroup and potentially attack Israel again. So what Israel is trying to do, according to reports, is they are going to hammer the region. Okay? They are going to hammer the region to ensure that this doesn't last another 2 months. They're actually considering flooding tunnels in order to flush out the Hamas leaders and military group. One of the other things that is concerning is right now there's still 20 women, there's 2 children, or 2 younger kids, and also 150 men that are still hostages. They're still being held in captivity. However, if we go and flush out these tunnels, chances are many, if not all of those people, would lose their lives. So, the question right now is, Which direction are they going to go? One thing I can tell you is that it's not just in Israel. We're seeing the fight for Ukraine as well. And even yesterday, the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she said the U.S. will be responsible for Ukraine's defeat if an aid bill is not passed. Because right now, there's discussion of potentially passing over $100 billion to Israel, Ukraine, and to Taiwan, which would send some humanitarian aid to Gaza. So that's on the table. However, Congress is slowly trying to pass this because there's too many issues. One of the other issues that Congress currently has is border security. But another one, which was brought up yesterday, is, and this was brought up by FBI Director Christopher Wray, he's warning senators on the surveillance reauthorization. Says 2 House committees set to consider legislation this week to renew key authority known as Section 702. This would allow the FBI director and the FBI essentially just to go and surveil people and groups outside the United States to protect us here at home. However, others that oppose this say no, this is just a way that they can surveil the American people. So that's where we're at. A lot of flashing lights, a lot of issues, but as of right now, which direction are we going to go? We going to go the direction of more flashing lights, or the direction of, okay, things are getting better slowly, but they are getting better? We'll see. As always, as we get more information, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All I ask is 2 things. First, hit the like button on this video. Also, click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. And I will see you guys on the next one.